Hello and welcome to the Federal. Today we are talking to Dr. Siddiq Wahid, Professor of Central Eurasian Studies at the Shiv Nadar University, and we'll talk about the ongoing protests in Ladakh. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Wahid.
Thank you, and thank you very much for having me.
So my first question is, why are the people of Ladakh protesting and what are their demands?
All right. The people of Ladakh overwhelmingly voted the BJP in 2019. And a good reason for that was, or the primary reason for that is that the government had promised that they would deliver the sixth schedule. And this was done by the BJP on a voluntary basis. So with that expectation, and also what they had promised was that you would get a union territory status. So the union territory status, as we all know, was declared on August 5th, 2019. But with it, then was supposed to be the sixth schedule, because once the Ladakhis got that union territory, they found out that actually there was a devolution. Instead of a devolution of powers, there was a greater centralization. And so they're upset by the fact that they lost a degree of autonomy that they had even prior to 2019.
So, sir, there is the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council. What is the role of this council and why has it not been able to meet the expectations of the people?
Okay. The role of the council was that power would be devolved to the Hill Council. And while it was still a state, while the J&K state still existed. Now, that devolution did take place of powers. But then when Union Territory status was introduced, it took away those powers, and most significantly, their powers of their control over the land, over the land in the state, in the Union Territory. And that is what has upset them, the people, including, of course, also jobs and guarantees of jobs, etc., all of which was suddenly they found out that they had disappeared. And as a result of it, they got upset. Now, having said that, let me also say that the people of Ladakh have waited patiently for the BJP to deliver for the last 5 years. And that delivery has not taken place. So it is as a result of it that the peaceful protests started in earnest, I think about 5 or 6 months ago, starting to pick up.
Sir, there is the Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council. What is the role of the council and how has it managed to meet the expectations of the people?
Okay. The role of the council is very simple. It is to handle all matters that are local as efficiently as possible. And I think arguably that has been done even when Ladakh was a part of the J&K state, because they had received a degree of autonomy in Ladakh. And in fact, not only that, but during the state, when it was the state, they were empowered quite a lot by Syed Mufti Saab, and he had done it. So when they were part of that government. In 2019, but along with it, the demand was that it wanted to separate from the state. Ladakh did, and that, or a portion of Ladakh, mainly the Leh district portion, wanted to separate. And when they separated, it was so that it would devolve power to both Leh as well as to Kargil. So that's what happened in 2019. However, after that, it was discovered that in point of fact, they had lost autonomy rather than gained autonomy, which is why you have the protests happening as of the moment.
So there's also the demand for a separate or a full statehood for Ladakh.
Yes.
How will that change the lives of people, or how will it impact the
Well,
lives of people?
yeah, I think it's important for you to realize that the demand for statehood was a latter demand. It was a later demand because um, the sixth schedule was not forthcoming. There was obfuscation, there was procrastination, and so forth on the part of the state, on the part of the central government. So when that happened, then the Ladakhis added statehood. And the benefit of the statehood is that you make your own laws, at least for local matters, matters of rights, land rights, job rights, etc. And so that was added on. But with the full knowledge on the part of the people of Ladakh that this would take a little bit longer, So the demand for Schedule 6 was not dropped, but at the same time, the demand for full statehood was added to the whole thing so that they wanted to be secure. Because I would say it would not be too far wrong to say that there was a trust deficit as the years got by in the delay of the delivery of Schedule 6. So statehood was added.
And what steps has the union government taken to address the demand of the people? Is there a dialogue process going on with the protesters?
Well, at the moment, I don't think there is. In part because I'm sure the BJP is busy with the elections and so forth. So I don't think that it's going on. But it's important to also say that just before the code of conduct kicked in, the protests had gathered steam, and it was very good. And they had a series of meetings, but those with the Ministry of Home Affairs, and all those meetings ended up in failure, and actually not feeling comfortable, the negotiators not feeling comfortable that sixth schedule was going to be met. And in fact, in the last meeting, they were blatantly told, I think by the Home Minister himself, that they would not be getting sixth schedule. So as a result of that, I think negotiations did break down, and which then resulted in the peaceful protests that took place.
The ongoing border dispute with China in Ladakh has captured the attention of the people yet again. Do you think it will impact the elections also?
I don't think it will impact the elections because, the people of Ladakh are very clear, and have always said, that they are a part of India and so forth. The only thing is that the delay has them somewhat frustrated. But that's a matter between Ladakh and Delhi. Not doesn't really involve China.
And so my last question to you is, Lok Sabha elections are going on. There's campaigning happening all across the country, and the government imposed Section 144 in Ladakh.
Yes.
Why are peaceful protests, expression of a protest, not being allowed?
Well, you'll have to ask the government of India that, or the present government that. I couldn't give you an answer. I think, they had said that they would have fasting and so forth. That took place for 21 days, and there was no real interference in that one. I think that Section 144 was declared when there was a march declared, the Pashmina March. So you have to understand the degree of frustration that was felt, and it was also, I think, a part of the reason was to highlight the fact that they were concerned about security, in Ladakh itself, vis-a-vis the sort of confrontation with China. So I think that was part of the reason. But that was squashed, so to speak, by the Section 144 being imposed on Ladakh. So obviously, that's not happening.
Sir, Ladakh voted for BJP in 2014 and 2019.
Yes.
how will these demands impact the elections in Ladakh this time?
I think it's safe to say that I don't think that the BJP will have a BJP member in parliament at the end of the elections. There's every indication to say that the BJP candidate will be rejected, whoever that is. I don't think it's been declared yet, but whoever that is, I don't think that there's a chance that it will, the BJP will return to parliament.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.